Hi, I'm Chris Edgar. I'm the creator of Filmtracts, which is an app that allows independent filmmakers to create their own contracts, whether it's for cast or crew or financiers or whoever it might be. And I'm here to show you how to use it. So let's go to the My Account tab without further ado and start a new contract. Let's dive right in. So here I have a list of templates. That is specific types of contracts that you may want to use for your independent film production. As you can see, I've got a wide variety of stuff here, which is ever expanding, by the way. If you go to the Filmtracts site and you see a template that's not in here that you would like to see, then please drop me a line and let me know so that I can add it in. These are all based, by the way, on contracts that I have drafted for my clients. I'm an entertainment lawyer in the past in indie film productions. So in order to start a contract, we need to pick a template. Let's say that we need a crew member for our production. Let's say we need someone like a gaffer, somebody who's going to be in the crew on set. Now we get a choice between using easy mode or advanced mode. With easy mode, what's going to happen is Filmtracts is going to give you a questionnaire. It's going to ask you a bunch of questions, and your answers to those questions will determine the contents of the contract that Filmtracts is going to give you. In advanced mode, what you can do is you can pick one of the templates from the list that we saw before, and you could just make edits to the text of the template directly without going through the questionnaire. I think that where Filmtracts really adds the most value is in the easy mode, is in this questionnaire. So that's what I'm going to show you right now. So this is how we start. We start with a simple question: what is the crew member's legal name? Let's say it's Joey J. Then the next question is, what is the name of the production company? Let's choose the example that I've given here, Pro Productions LLC. Very, very professional sounding, very pro. What's the title of the film? Let's say that it's Sophie's Choice. Wait, it can't be Sophie's Choice. We've already made Sophie's Choice. So let's make it Sophie's Choice 2, The Second Choice. That's a pretty riveting sounding sequel name, isn't it? What's the title of the crew member's position? Let's say that it's a gaffer. Joey J is a gaffer. Is this a feature? Of course it's a feature. We'd never devote anything less to Sophie's Choice 2. Do you want to specify the dates when shooting will take place in the agreement? Let's say yes. Okay. Let's say it's going to be shot so that we're not using dates in the past. Let's say we're going to shoot between September 20 to 29, 2024. Will the crew member get monetary compensation? This is a question that some indie filmmakers have to ask themselves because their budgets are so low. Let's say that for Sophie's Choice 2, despite it being a low-budget indie film, we do have the money to pay our crew. So let's say yes. Are they guaranteed compensation? In other words, are they going to get money up front once they've done their work, regardless of whether the film makes money? Let's say that the answer to that is yes. Joey J is a gaffer who's high in demand, by the way. We want to make sure that we secure his services. How will the crew member's basic rate be calculated? So here we get a choice of saying he'll get paid by the day, by the hour, or just a flat rate for the entire production. And if you're not satisfied with these answers, by the way, if you want something else, you can always edit the document later. You can edit the text directly, and you can add in, whatever terms you want. But for the purposes of this questionnaire, you can give one of these three answers here. Let's say that Joey J is going to get paid on a daily basis. What's the amount of the crew member's basic rate? Let's say that we've agreed to $400 a day. Will the crew member get deferred pay? That's pay that the crew member will only get in the event that certain specific conditions are met, like the project gets distribution or the project makes a profit or something like that. Sometimes deferred pay is combined with upfront pay, but let's say that for the purposes of Sophie's Choice 2, we're not going to do that. So I'm going to say no. Okay, so you'll see here that we jumped from question number 12 to question number 16. Why is that? Because questions 13 through 15 had to do with the specifics of the deferred pay arrangement. And because that's no longer relevant, since I said that Joey J is not going to receive deferred pay, Filmtracts is not going to ask me those questions. So it's got conditional logic, which is actually something that sets it apart from a bunch of other apps in this space. I mean, first of all, there isn't really another contract creation app that specifically has to do with independent film. But second, a lot of these other apps will just have a questionnaire where you have to answer every question, regardless of whether it's relevant to your project. Like if we were talking about profit sharing, for instance, you'd be forced in some apps to answer the question, what percentage of the profits from the film will this guy receive? And if you're not awarding shares of profits to the crew, you're going to have to put in 0%, and then that other program is going to give you a contract that says that Joey J will receive 0% of the profits. But of course, that's not a way that a lawyer would ever draft a contract. So the contracts that are produced by Filmtracts are a lot more like the contracts that actual lawyers would prepare. I guess because I prepared them. I guess that's why I know. So now let's talk about back-end points or percentage of the profits from the film. Let's say we're feeling generous, and Joey J is such a great gaffer. He's a hot commodity. So we want to make sure that we give him enough incentive to be part of our wonderful Sophie's Choice 2 production here. We're going to say yes. Will the film's investors also get a percentage of the profits from the film? If so, how will the profits be split between the cast and crew and producers on one hand and the investors on the other hand? This is something that you're going to have to figure out if you're offering profits from your film to various people who participate in making it. You're going to have to figure out how those profits are going to be distributed among the various stakeholders who were involved in the film. What I'll do here is I'll pick this answer that I've put in, which is a pretty typical arrangement in the indie film industry, where all of the profits are going to go to the investors until the contributions that they made to the film are repaid. And then after that, the profits are going to be split 50-50 between the talent and crew and cast and so on one hand, and the investors on the other hand. What percentage of the profits from the film will the crew member, that is Joey J, receive? Let's say that we want to offer him 3% of the profits. I'll put that in. How frequently will they get their share of the profits paid to them? In other words, on a monthly, a quarterly, or annual basis. I'll just choose quarterly. Will they be compensated for expenses? Again, we want to make sure that, because Joey J is such a towering talent, we want to make sure that we get him to work on this project. So we're going to say yes. What state's law do you want to apply if a court needs to enforce the agreement? This is usually the law of the state where the film gets shot. Let's say it's in California. So that'll be our answer there. Do you want to specify the state where any litigation regarding this agreement will need to take place? So, for example, let's say that Joey J lives in Alaska, and because I'm so determined to get Joey J for my crew, he's such a great gaffer, that I've flown him out to California. But later on, a dispute develops between me, the production company guy, and Joey J, where Joey J is saying, you owe me more money under the contract than what I've been paid. And he wants to file a lawsuit. In that situation, let's say that Joey J files a lawsuit in Alaska. If Joey J does that, then it's possible that I'll be forced to fly out to Alaska to participate in a trial or some other aspect of the litigation that requires me to be there in person. But if we have a clause in the contract saying that any litigation related to the contract has to take place in California, then Joey J won't be able to do that. He won't be able to drag me off to a far-flung court that has nothing to do with the facts of the case. It has nothing to do with our relationship, which of course involved the filming of this Sophie's Choice 2 in California. So let's say yes. I usually recommend that people use a clause like this. Which state's court should any dispute regarding the agreement be litigated in? That would be California. What's the name of the person who will sign on behalf of the production company? That's me, Chris E. Do you want to require the losing party to pay the other side's attorney's fees and costs? So in the United States, the rule, generally speaking, is that if you lose a lawsuit, you don't have to pay the other side's attorney's fees. If a judgment's entered against you, then you're not going to be required to pay their fees. Whereas in many other countries, it's different. But if you're operating under U.S. law, you can still put a provision in your contract that says that the losing party in any litigation relating to this contract is going to have to pay the other side's fees. You're free to independently negotiate for that if you want. Let's say that I want to say yes to that. Now we filled in all of the questions required to produce this agreement, and now we'll get the opportunity to review all of our answers and see if we want to edit any of them. Let's say that I have second thoughts about saying that the losing party has to pay the other side's fees. So I can click edit over here, and then I'll get the option to change my yes to a no. Then I hit next step again, and then we get back to this information review screen. Now let's add a title for the contract, because this is a contract about Joey J and his role as a gaffer on Sophie's Choice 2. Let's say it's called the Joey J Gaffer Agreement. And now we hit complete, and what we're going to see again is this library of contracts that are associated with your account. If you want to edit the contract, you can either click on edit over here, or you can just click on the contract itself. And now you can see the contract that we've generated with our answers in all its glory. We've got a crew member agreement for Joey J. Pro Productions LLC is the production company. You've got Sophie's Choice 2, the second choice, is the name of the film. We have Joey J's role, gaffer. We have the dates when the production is going to take place right here. We have the $400 per day that we agreed upon and so forth. And on this screen, you can also make edits to the text of the contract. For instance, let's say that I'm negotiating with Joey J, and Joey J realizes he has the upper hand here because, everybody wants him to be a gaffer for their film. So he demands $500 a day, and I'm forced to agree to it. And then I can just go into this basic rate and change this to $500 a day. If Joey J demands a higher share of the profits from the production, and I want to change it from 3 to 5%, I'll just type in 5% instead of the 3 that was there, and so on and so forth. So that's how we can make edits to the document if we want to, and then we save and exit to get back to the menu. So now we get back to this menu of contracts. We see the Joey J Gaffer agreement is there, and we have a couple of options. Edit, we saw. We can download the agreement, which will cause you to download a PDF of what you created. You can email the document, and then so here you can just put in a bunch of email addresses of people, let's say on your production team, that you want to email it to. Status, that shows who the contract has been sent to so far. Since it hasn't been sent to anyone, this chart is blank. You can use this command copy, and this is a very useful command. Let's say that you want to hire a key grip for Sophie's Choice 2, whose name is Susie S. Then we can create a copy of the contract that we created for Joey J and just substitute in Susie S and the fact that she's a key grip and so forth. And then we don't have to go through that whole questionnaire process again if we want to generate an essentially identical contract for another member of the crew. So then we go back to the menu, and then you obviously have the option to delete the contract if you're not happy with it. So essentially that's how Filmtracts works. Any feedback that you have on it would be welcome. Any templates that you think ought to be included in my list, that would be very helpful as well. And thanks for watching.